Exclusive interview with ex-Central PF Commissioner K.K. Jalal by ET Now. The full text of interview along with voice-over. The big debate. The EPFO has issued a fresh set of instructions for employees who had not opted for pension contributions at a higher wage than wage ceiling and continued to be in service on or after September 1, 2014. The EPFO has allowed subscribers to go beyond the pensionable salary capped at 15,000 a month, on which employers deduct a sum equal to 8.33% of the actual basic salary towards pension under EPS. ET Now, in conversation with K.K. Jalal, former Central EPFO Commissioner. The details as follows. ET Now. It has finally happened. The order signed by you is a reason for a lot of pensioners to be happy, definitely. But help us understand why it took so long. What were the challenges? Jalal. Let me first clarify, I am not the chief of the EPFO now. I retired way back in 2017 as Secretary of Government of India. I am presently a common citizen, and I also dissect these guidelines as a common citizen of the country. Now basically the circular of 20th February 2023 is in compliance with the Supreme Court of India guidelines order, whereby the Supreme Court asked the EPFO to give further chance to those employees who could not opt as per the section or clause 11(4) of the Employees Pension Scheme 1995. That is the only issue here. Now the EPFO has issued instructions in this regard in compliance with the orders of the Honorable Supreme Court. ET Now. We would like you to explain exactly what the impact is, because we are talking about a very crucial and impactful change. Now, with the deadline of March 3, in your assessment, how many pensioners would be getting the benefit? Jalal. The para 5 of the circular very clearly says that only those people who were contributing at a higher rate to the Employees Provident Fund in 2014 are eligible. Secondly, those employees who did not or forgot to exercise the option are the only employees who can now exercise the option. The number of such employees may not be very high because not many employees were paying at a higher amount under section 26(6) of the EPF scheme who forgot to exercise the option. The employees which will satisfy all the conditions 1, 2 and 3 will not be very high. A rough estimate of the number would be around 1 lakh. ET now. Could you also explain in detail what are the changes in terms of procedure that we are talking about, in terms of calculations, so that a layman can understand? Jalal. The employees' pension scheme is a defined benefit scheme. Basically, it is for the employees who are drawing the maximum basic salary of 15,000 rupees. Now, if you are drawing pay for 15,000 for the last 5 years and you have retired while contributing to EPFO, you will get roughly a pension of 7,500 per month, and this pension continues even after your death to the family. It is also available to the handicapped children or the dependent children till they acquire the age of 25. Therefore, it is really a welfare measure. Now, this type of facility was not available to the employees drawing a basic salary of more than 15,000 rupees. Now, it has been allowed to some extent by the Supreme Court because that is the reading of the clause 11(4) of the Employees Pension Scheme 1995. ET now. So, how exactly will the pension be raised? Jalal. If somebody has contributed at a higher wage at that point of time in 2014 and wants to get into the EPS 1995 scheme, then with the present calculation, if he is retiring at a wage of say 1 lakh, he will get a pension of 50,000 rupees. So that way, the pension will increase sensibly. He will get a very good pension with the present guidelines, but the guidelines may change. The EPFO has still not clarified as to what pensions these people will get because there is an issue of 1.16 contribution that the Supreme Court has kept open. If that issue is clarified, it will also impact the pension, and the defined pension scheme might be difficult for EPFO to accept because it will then be a very high drain on the EPS funds. That was the issue which was argued by EPFO in the Supreme Court. ET now. There are a few more questions which are also coming up from the activist end also. If people have withdrawn money from their PF or taken loan on the amount, how is this going to impact their EPS contribution? Jalal. A loan might not disturb the thing, but the present guidelines say if you have contributed at a higher rate, then you are eligible for a higher rate of pension. That is the only thing that is clarified here. Now, if you have taken a loan that will not disturb the system, naturally the EPFO will ask you for the money. If you have totally withdrawn it, you will need to contribute along with the interest to the EPFO. ET now. Do you think the period is very limited and not all would be able to exercise this particular appeal or the consent form that needs to be submitted. If there is some problem that can be extended, of course, now the period has been given as per the guidelines of the Supreme Court. But if there is a problem in the system, if the server is not working, the system is not working, then the EPFO would be kind enough to extend this period by a few days. That should not be a problem. ET now. Also, a lot of reports say that just the EPFO circular is not enough for EPF members to exercise this particular action. They might have to wait for a few more rounds of circulars and clarification. What all is left to be done? Jalal. A lot of things are left out in the sense that the benefit is not defined to a great extent in this circular. This circular also does not define the people who have taken loan or who have taken some earlier benefit and have withdrawn the amount. How will they be treated as far as the benefits are concerned? Those will be clarified by the circulars later. ET now. When a willing member exercises his or her option along with his or her employer, he or she gives the consent for transfer of a certain amount of money for his or her provident fund account to the general pension fund. In the absence of required information, such a member would not like to exercise this option. But in terms of illustration, in terms of clarification, what kind of mathematics should be given to the members so that they can make this decision? Jalal. Yes, you are absolutely right, and that is not very clearly given by the EPFO circular, but assuming that naturally the present guidelines will exist or the present guidelines as on the 2014 scheme will exist, then you can say the present defined benefits scheme under the employees pension scheme will continue. That is going to be more beneficial for the employees. Those employees who fit into these guidelines 5, 1, 2 and 3, and as far as the circular is concerned to a greater extent, should take the benefit of the same. It will be really beneficial to them. ET now. We are just looking at the first phase of this particular announcement. Do you think this is going to be rolled digitally? How long do you think it will take for the amount to reach the pensioners? Jalal. You see, the issues concerned are the amount that is getting into the EPS fund, then the amount getting the pension calculations, getting back to the pension. I think it will take around 6 months time, as the EPFO is now digitalized to a greater extent and is quite competent. ET now. Will this be the same amount that will be given to the nominees as well? Jalal: I have answered you already. As for the present scheme, yes. If there is a scheme which is changed, then if it is changed for certain members, then yes, then it might. It is not clarified by the EPFO, but the present scheme allows it to the nominee and it allows it to the dependent children also. ET now. Your advice to all those people, all those members who might want to opt for this. What would you like to tell them? Jalal: I would say those people who are eligible should opt for it.